I don't have hands on sticks or anything. I'm just flying right by. What we're practicing here is getting ready for our landing, which is a really tricky part of flying. Welcome to the shop. Today, we're gonna take our first flight. What I mean is, I'm gonna go through what it's like to set up at the field, get the plane ready. I'm also gonna talk about a little bit that you need to do here in the shop before you hit the field. The whole point of this is setting you up for success. The more you can do prior to that first flight, the better the outcome's going to be. Because I got to tell you, this is not the easiest hobby to master. Think of golf, right? You're not going to go out your first time and shoot under 70. It's not going to happen. This takes practice. And it's hard to get in, and there's a lot of foam tack and repair and such to deal with. And trying to eliminate as much of that as possible. So the first part we want to make sure we have is a good plane, good setup. We're flying at a good field. The weather is good. Trying to basically make it so you're set up for success. Trying to stack the cards in your favor. The other thing that I would highly recommend, if you don't have one, get a flight simulator. And what the flight simulator is going to allow you to do is get the feel of the controls. You're going to get the feel of the plane. It's very different on the simulator than it is on the field. In real life, but you'll at least have some familiarity with the controller. So in the video I start off with, we're powering it up, we're making sure that this particular ready to fly system is set up properly, and the controls are working in the right direction, and the gyro is set up properly. Those same things I talk about with the FMS ready to fly would work also with a Spectrum ready to fly system. Making sure that we're set up properly before we get this thing up in the air. Because then you gotta land it, you gotta fly it. So that's what I'm gonna go over. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Love to hear it. If you think this video is valuable to you, hit that like button. Appreciate it. Stick around, let's get into it. You're all excited, you're gonna fly your plane. But hang on a second. So let's go back a little bit. Now you've assembled the plane, but there's a couple critical pieces that are super important that you need to check out. I made a video on this on how to set up your ready to fly plane, because setup is the most critical thing right now. What happens on these RTFs is that the control surfaces for the elevator and ailerons are set way too high, and it makes the plane super hard to control. So first, let's go back and make sure we have proper setup based on what it says in the documentation. So if you haven't gone and basically reduced the throws in the ailerons elevators, you probably should check out that video. Now we're at the field and we power it up. We put the battery in. I use the 1300 3S batteries. They fit perfect and they give the proper CG. But you can check the CG. There's a little section on the wing. There's a little kind of foam cutout. That is a perfect CG spot. By the way, if you want to know more about center of gravity, CG, and how it affects your plane, I did a video on that too. Link in the description below. These RTFs don't have timers on their transmitter. So you gotta at least set a timer for 5 minutes. Or I use this, it's a voltage checker. But there's an alarm that goes off when the battery gets to a low point. There's more details about that, you guessed it, in another video. Link in the description below. All right, we're gonna do a control check. Gonna go left, gonna go right, gonna go up, gonna go down, gonna go left, gonna go right. Also checking on these switches here. Top switch is for optimize mode, which means the plane is going to do this. You can hear the servos moving, but it just corrects for a little bit. It's for wind mitigation. Then you have all the way down, all the way in the middle, or in the middle, and that turns the gyro off completely. And then all the way down, which makes it so the control surfaces stay where they are. That's self-level mode. We're going to take off in self-level mode. Okay, one last thing. Look, make sure where you're flying and the conditions you're flying in are good. Make sure your battery is full. Make sure your transmitter battery is full. Make sure the wind direction you're taking off in the wind direction. These are all these little things that will help you succeed. Okay, now we're ready. Let's go to the field and fly. So this is in stabilized mode, which you'll notice when I do the ailerons, the rudder moves on its own. Just a way to make the plane fly a little bit better for that beginner flight. So here we're gonna go. First flight, taxi it out. It's not gonna go perfectly straight, and that's okay. Don't get too fretted about that. As long as it goes straight enough. We're gonna take off and just do a simple pattern. We've done our control check. We know which switch we're using, which is the one here in the towards me position. We'll say the down position, and that is for self-leveling. We're gonna take off, do a couple circuits, and then we're gonna make approaches. All right, let's take off. Feeding a little elevator as I get some speed, and we're up. I'm gonna back off throttle to about half throttle, and you'll see that I'm just making very gentle corrections in throttle position as well as with the ailerons and rudder. I'll put it right here, kind of in the corner, kind of left and down a little bit, so I stay at the same altitude. I let go, and it just flies level. If I want to make a minor correction, I can use some rudder, and see, it just kind of straightens it out. It's nice for that. I'm gonna back off throttle a little bit more. Keep it close is really important. This thing will climb and start climbing too much on you. So what I'm saying is back off throttle and it won't climb as much. Sticks in the corner, not complete corner as you've noticed, right? I'm just moving them a little bit, moving them to the left and a little up, left and a little up, and it makes a nice gentle turn. If it drops too much, feed in a little more elevator, as you can see I'm doing. Now, since I'm only at half throttle, it might need a little more up elevator. Give a little bit more throttle, and she tends to climb. See how she's climbing now, even as I'm turning? Back off throttle. The throttle management is super important when you're flying RC planes. It's not on or off. It is a variable channel. It should be used as such. So now that I've gone and just made a simple pattern, and I'm doing okay. Here's a tricky part I'll share with you, is that when it's facing you, when the plane is coming in towards you, the controls are kind of backwards. So I turn my head and look behind me, look over my shoulder with the controls in front of me. That helps me. The other concept, and believe me, you'll get used to this as you fly more, it'll be more automatic, but whichever direction the wing is dropping, if you want to level out, so if I put my sticks to the direction the wing is dropping, it'll correct. I have this plane right now in self-level mode, so if you get yourself in trouble, so we're gonna have a kind of a sketchy situation. I've got about half throttle, I'm scared, it's going in, I self-level, I just let go of the sticks. That's what's nice about this self-level mode. All right, so just to explain a couple things. Now what we're gonna do is make some approaches. And you can get up a little higher than I am to feel comfortable. I'm gonna back throttle off to half throttle. And as I'm making my turn, I'm losing altitude. You'll see, it's coming down. And I'm gonna fly right over the runway. That's all I wanna do, is make some passes over the runway. Because I gotta land on the runway. Or if you're landing in the grass, or a gravel road, or a mud bar, or whatever, wherever you're landing, you wanna make some nice approaches. As soon as you gotta start practicing this, approaches. So we're gonna do it again. I'm backing off on throttle, I'm making a turn, and my plane is just flying right level, right over the runway. That's the goal. If you want to make minor corrections with the ailerons, you can. Okay, I'm going to throttle up to make my go around. If you don't, you're going to go on the ground. Okay, because we're now flying a little slower than normal. So back to half throttle. Okay, I'm going to make my turn. I'm going to start backing off throttle.
Hey, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, why don't you do it now?
So here my throttle, I'm at quarter throttle and the plane is coming down. I'm trying to keep it level as it's coming down. And there we go. Let's do that again. Let me show that to you again. I'm going to throttle up, make my turn, making several slow approaches, and then go around until you feel a little bit more comfortable with that approach. Your first time doing this, it's not going to be easy. This is the hardest part, is being able to control the plane. I'm at quarter throttle. If you want, you can cut your throttle completely, and just as it's coming in, you're going to feed in some elevator and plop it down. That's it. These planes, let them slow down before you try to make a turn, because the nose wheel will collapse and you'll kind of flip over and knock off your spinner like this.
Congratulations, you did your first flight. Now do that all over again, and continue to do that until you've honed that skill of simple patterns, approaches, and landings. I've got a ton of videos on all of that, but I just wanted to kind of highlight a couple things. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.